Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Lalima Anijadang with the Midday News. The headlines. Cabinet approves highest ever fair and remunerative price of 290 rupees per quintal for sugarcane. Government mandates all Afghan nationals to travel to India only on e-visa. Prime Minister Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin discuss Afghan situation. Government to brief floor leaders of all political parties on Afghanistan tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind to visit Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. More than 59 crore 55 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. COVID recovery rate stands at 97.67%. Health Ministry requests states and union territories to vaccinate all school teachers on priority basis. COVID-19 may be becoming endemic in India, says WHO Chief Scientist Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. Centre to launch e-Shram Portal, national database on unorganized workers tomorrow. Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur interacts with medal winners of the World Under-20 Athletics Championship. Third cricket test between India and England to begin today in Leeds. And India begins its campaign at the Tokyo Paralympic Games today. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise the listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Cabinet has approved highest ever fair and remunerative price of 290 rupees per quintal for sugarcane. Commerce and Consumer Affairs and Food and Public Distribution Minister Piyush Goyal, while informing about the cabinet decisions, said this will benefit 5 crore sugarcane farmers and their dependents.
फेयर एंड रेम्यूनरेटिव प्राइस एफआरपी जो शुगर केन पे दिया जाता है उसको बढ़ाकर अब 290 रुपए प्रति क्विंटल करने का निर्णय लिया गया जो 10% रिकवरी के ऊपर आधारित होगा। जब रिकवरी 10% से अधिक हो जाती है तो उसका प्रोपोर्शनेट 0.1% इंक्रीज के लिए हर 0.1% इंक्रीज के लिए अधिकांश 2 रुपए 90 पैसे प्रति क्विंटल और दिया जाता है और न्यूनतम बेसिक जो प्राइस मिलती है उसको भी 9.5% पर रोका गया है कि 9.5% से कम अगर किसी किसान का रिकवरी होती है तो 9.5% पे ही आधारित उनको 275 रुपए 50 पैसे प्रति क्विंटल उनको भी मिलेगा अगर 9.5% से नीचे भी हो तो। खुशी की बात यह है कि हमारे देश के किसानों ने अब काफी रिकवरी बढ़ाने का काम देश भर में किया है। आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजीज इस्तेमाल करना, नए प्रैक्टिसेस को और बड़े रूप में लागू करके अब हम सभी देश भर में देख रहे हैं कि रिकवरी सुधर रही है। शुगर केन जो रिकवरी शुगर और बाकी चीजों में होती है। साथ ही साथ पिछले वर्ष एक्सपोर्ट भी रिकॉर्ड हुआ है। लगभग 70 लाख टन का एक्सपोर्ट के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स हो चुके हैं जिसमें 55 लाख टन तो ऑलरेडी एक्सपोर्ट हो चुके हैं, 15 लाख टन पाइपलाइन में है।
Mr. Goyal said this will be immensely beneficial to 5 lakh workers employed in sugar mills and related ancillary activities. The minister said it is expected that in the next 2 to 3 years, the ethanol blending in petrol will increase up to 20%, which will be highly beneficial to both farmers and consumers.
यानी आज जो 15,000 करोड़ रुपए इथेनॉल की वजह से किसानों को मिल रहा है इस क्षेत्र में जिससे लगातार सुधार भी हो रहा है, रिकवरी अच्छी मिल रही है, वही बढ़ के 40,000 करोड़ रुपए प्रतिवर्ष इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग की वजह से इस सेक्टर को मिलेगा और उसके कारण हमारे गन्ना किसानों को समय पे पैसा भी भुगतान हो पाएगा और हमारे जो उपभोक्ता हैं उनके ऊपर भी जो बोझ है या जो शुगर की प्राइस है वो भी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ने की आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ेगी। तो एक प्रकार से केंद्र सरकार ने दोनों हितों को संभाला है।
The government has announced today that all Afghan nationals henceforth must travel to India only on e-visa. This has been decided owing to the prevailing security situation in Afghanistan and streamlining of the visa process by introduction of the e-emergency visa. Keeping in view some reports that certain passports of Afghan nationals have been misplaced, previously issued visas to all Afghan nationals who are presently not in India stand invalidated with immediate effect. Afghan nationals wishing to travel to India may apply for e-visa at www.indianvisaonline.gov.in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke on telephone with Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday. Both the leaders discussed the unfolding situation in Afghanistan and its implications for the region and the world. They expressed the view that it is important for the two strategic partners to work together and instructed the senior officials to remain in touch. The two leaders appreciated the ongoing bilateral cooperation in the fight against the COVID pandemic, especially in the supply and production of Sputnik V vaccine.
The government will brief the floor leaders of all political parties on the situation in Afghanistan tomorrow. In a tweet, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has instructed that the Ministry of External Affairs will brief the floor leaders. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said floor leaders of political parties would be briefed by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on the present situation in Afghanistan tomorrow at 11 a.m. in Parliament House Annex. He said invites are being sent through email and all concerned have been requested to attend. President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 4-day visit to Uttar Pradesh beginning tomorrow. The President will grace the 9th convocation of the Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University in Lucknow tomorrow. On Friday, he will unveil a statue of Dr. Sampurnanand, former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and inaugurate an auditorium at the Captain Manoj Pandey Sainik School in Lucknow.
The government will launch e-Shram Portal National Database on Unorganized Workers NDUW tomorrow. Unveiling the logo for the e-Shram Portal, Labour and Employment Minister Bhupendra Yadav said that targeted identification of the unorganized workers was a much-needed step. He said the portal will be the national database of nation builders, the Shram Yogis, and help take welfare schemes to the doorstep. More than 59 crore 55 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Health Ministry said more than 61 lakh 90,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. It said the COVID recovery rate in the country stands at 97.67%. More than 34,000 patients recovered in the last 24 hours. India reported over 37,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. Daily positivity rate is at 2.10% and it is less than 3% for the last 30 days. In the last 24 hours, 648 deaths were reported.
The Health Ministry today said more than 58.07 crore vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through the Government of India free of cost channel and through direct state procurement category. It said further over 51 lakh doses are in the pipeline. The ministry said more than 3.62 crore balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and the union territories to be administered. Union Health and Family Welfare Minister Mansukh Mandavia said that the central government has requested the states and union territories to vaccinate all the school teachers on priority basis. In a tweet today, Mr. Mandavia said states have been requested to vaccinate teachers on priority basis before the celebrations of Teachers' Day on the 5th of September. He said more than 2 crore vaccine doses are being made available to the states in addition to the plan to provide vaccine to every state this month.
In Madhya Pradesh, the second phase of the vaccination Maha Abhiyan has been conducted smoothly today at 7,500 vaccination centers in the state. More from a Bhopal correspondent.
The state government has made elaborate arrangement of vehicles to bring the physically challenged and elderly people to the center. Arrangements for tea, water, etc. are also available at the vaccination centers. District collectors have prepared the list of names of those who have not yet been vaccinated and whose second dose is pending. All such persons are being motivated to come at vaccination centers. The 2-day mega vaccination drive aims to vaccinate 35 lakh citizens in 2 days. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
The Karnataka Health and Family Welfare Department has issued a circular to all the districts in the state to augment COVID tests on a daily basis. The COVID test drive will be taken up under the National Health Mission. Every district has been asked to conduct 1,75,000 COVID tests daily, out of which 70% should be RT-PCR tests. The circular says that the test should be augmented in villages bordering Kerala state where interstate movement of people is seen. At least 10% of the test should be of those below 18 years of age. It is also made mandatory to conduct 50% of the test on the outskirts of taluks.
Chief Scientist of the World Health Organization, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, has said that COVID-19 in India may be entering some kind of stage of endemicity where there is low or moderate level of transmission going on. The endemic stage is when a population learns to live with a virus. It's very different from the epidemic stage when the virus overwhelms a population. On clearance of Indian-made COVID vaccine Covaxin, she said that the WHO's technical group will be satisfied to give Covaxin clearance to be one of its authorized vaccines, and that could happen by mid-September. In an interview to private media, Ms. Swaminathan said, given the size of India and heterogeneity of population and immunity status in different parts of the country, it is very, very feasible that the situation may continue like this with ups and downs in various parts of the nation. Well, you are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. Here's a reminder of the headlines before we move on. Cabinet approves highest ever fare and remunerative price of 290 rupees per quintal for sugarcane. Government mandates all Afghan nationals to travel to India only on e-visa. Prime Minister Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin discuss Afghan situation. Government to brief floor leaders of all political parties on Afghanistan tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind to visit Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. More than 59 crore 55 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. COVID recovery rate stands at 97.67%. Health Ministry requests states and union territories to vaccinate all school teachers on priority basis. COVID-19 may be becoming endemic in India, says WHO Chief Scientist Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. Centre to launch e-Shram portal, national database on unorganized workers tomorrow. Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur interacts with medal winners of the World U20 Athletics Championship. Third cricket test between India and England to begin today in Leeds, and India begins its campaign at Tokyo Paralympic Games today. Well, for quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास. तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Midday News. As part of military diplomacy and to strengthen the growing strategic relation with Kazakhstan, the 5th edition of Indo-Kazakhstan Joint Training Exercise, Kazind 21, will be conducted at Aisha Bibi in Kazakhstan from August 30th to September 11th. The exercise is a joint training between both the armies, which will boost the bilateral relations between India and Kazakhstan. The exercise will provide an opportunity to the armed forces of India, Kazakhstan to train for counter-insurgency, counter-terrorism operation in mountainous rural scenario under UN mandate. The exercise will strengthen mutual confidence, interoperability and enable sharing of best practices between the armed forces of both the countries. Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria has outlined his vision for Software Development Institute (SDI) to move towards software indigenization for integration of various weapons on IAF aircraft and achieving self-reliance in enhancing combat potential. During his 2 days visit to IAF units and flight test establishments of DRDO and HAL at Bengaluru, Air Chief Bhadoria also visited SDI, the unit tasked for undertaking development of avionics software. He noted that the sustained focus on critical projects by the Institute had contributed significantly in increasing the operational and functional capability of IAF. During his interaction with personnel, Air Chief Bhadoria emphasized the need for staying ahead of the curve in order to leverage its expertise in delivering the requirements of IAF operational units.
Rashtrapati Bhavan has invited online applications from faculty members and students of central universities for Visitors Awards 2021 in different categories. Applicants can apply for Visitors Award for Innovation, Visitors Award for Research in Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences, Physical Sciences and Biological Sciences, and Visitors Award for Technology Development. Applicants can apply by visiting website www.presidentofindia.nic.in and clicking on the link 7th Visitors Award 2021. The last date for submitting the application is October the 31st, and more details can be seen at https://rb.nic.in/visitor-awards. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the trains operation are seen coming to a halt in Jammu yesterday due to the farmers sit-in on the Jalandhar-Ludhiana railway track since Saturday. Only Malwa and Swaraj Express could leave from Jammu Tawi railway station yesterday, while many long-distance trains coming to Jammu Tawi railway station have been cancelled. The Northern Railway cancelled about 45 trains operating from Jammu, Udhampur and Katra Mata Vaishno Devi railway stations. Many passengers, including Mata Vaishno Devi pilgrims, are stuck in Katra and Jammu stations. However, the diesel multiple units D and U between Pathankot, Udhampur are operating smoothly.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the security forces busted a terrorist hideout in Nagmarg forest area of Alusa in North Kashmir's Bandipora district. During searches, a huge cache of arms and ammunition, including 10 UGPL rounds and 2 Chinese grenades and other incriminating material, was recovered. A case under relevant sections of law has been registered and further investigation has been taken up in this regard. Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman reviewed the performance of 12 public sector banks (PSB) in an annual review meeting of public sector banks in Mumbai. She unveiled the Enhanced Access and Service Excellence EASE 3.0 report and gave EASE 3.0 awards to best performing PSBs in Mumbai. The minister handed over EASE 3.0 awards to Canara Bank, Punjab National Bank, Indian Bank, Union Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, State Bank of India for their achievements in clean and smart banking. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
Azadi Ka Safar every day with All India Radio from Monday the 16th of August. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you the story of glorious struggle and sacrifices of freedom fighters on 100.1 FM Gold channel in the English news bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Stay tuned.
Let's now listen to a special segment, Azadi Ka Safar.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day. This day in 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose became the Supreme Commander of the Indian National Army, INA, or Azad Hind Fauj. The INA was formed in September 1942 by Ras Bihari Bose in Southeast Asia during the World War II with the purpose of an armed fight for India's independence, but soon it was disbanded. It was revived under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose after his arrival in Southeast Asia in 1943. It was in early 1943 that Bose recognized that Southeast Asia, with its large overseas Indian population, was the fertile ground for establishing an anti-colonial force to fight the British.
मैं इस जिम्मेदारी को कबूल करता हूं, लेकिन निहायत नम्रता के साथ और खुदा से दुआ मांगता हूं कि उन्होंने हमें वो ताकत, वो जोश और वो बहादुरी दें.
In January 1943, the Japanese invited Bose to lead the Indian nationalist movement in East Asia.
旧インド仮政府批判スバス・チャンドラ・ボース氏は空路ビルマに到着。日本と共にアジア解放の戦いに駒を進める。
Subhash Chandra Bose was one of India's most prominent nationalist leaders who advocated armed struggle as the only way to free India.
I do not know how many of us who are going to participate in the coming battles will survive to see India free. But whether we survive or not, whether we individually live to see India free or not, we are confident that India shall be free.
Netaji named the brigades of INA after Gandhi, Nehru, Maulana Azad and himself. There was also an all-women regiment named after Rani of Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai. Under his leadership, the INA drew ex-prisoners and thousands of civilian volunteers from the Indian expatriate population in Southeast Asia. The armed resistance of INA and their sacrifices are etched in people's memory forever.
August is also important in the history of the Indian freedom struggle because it is the birth anniversary of the famous freedom fighter Ganapati Agraharam Annadurai Ayyar Natesan. He was born in 1873 in Tanjavur. In 1900, he started the Indian Review, a monthly publication in English. The paper covered mostly nationalistic themes. When Mahatma Gandhi visited Madras for the first time since his arrival in India in 1915, he stayed at Natesan's house for almost a month. G.A. Natesan, who was a prolific writer and a journalist, established his own publishing company in 1897. He was a well-known publisher of Gandhian literature, including speeches and writings of Bapu.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, AIR News will today start a 75-episode program, Nishan, on the landmark sites associated with the freedom movement. It will be broadcast every Wednesday in our Parikrama program at 4:45 p.m. The first episode today narrates the history of Sabarmati Ashram, from where Mahatma Gandhi started the Salt Satyagrah.
स्वाधीनता संग्राम के वे निशान जो साक्षी हैं हमारे सेनानियों के संघर्ष और बलिदान के। आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष श्रृंखला निशान। हर बुधवार को शाम 4:45 पर कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर।
In Assam, the frontier headquarters of SSB at Tezpur has begun a cycle rally today as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. GOC4 Corps Lieutenant General Ravin Khosla flagged off the cycle rally this morning at Tezpur. The rally will cover 2,384 kilometers from Tezpur to Rajghat in New Delhi. The team will travel to various places related to India's freedom movement. Noted academician and social activist Dr. Gail Omved passed away today in Sangli's Kasegaon. The 81-year-old American-born Indian scholar had authored many books on scheduled castes, women's struggles and the anti-caste movement. Dr. Gail Omved was a prolific writer and a powerful social scientist. It was she who brought to the fore Mahatma Phule Ambedkar's legacy in the context of rising social movements in the post-emergency period. Omved co-founded the Shramik Mukti Dal with her husband and activist Bharat Patankar.
Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur today interacted with medal winners of the World Under-20 Athletics Championship. Appreciating the performance of the players during the championship, Mr. Thakur said, Indian players performed well and this shows that India can do better in athletics. He said the government is committed to provide best infrastructure to the players.
आप भारत का भविष्य हैं और भारत सरकार की ओर से हम सबका प्रयास रहेगा कि आपकी ट्रेनिंग में कोई कमी ना आए, आपकी सुविधाओं में कोई कमी ना आए। इसलिए आपसे बातचीत करके, खुले मन से बातचीत करके ग्रास रूट लेवल की फीडबैक लेके क्या परेशानी खिलाड़ी को आती है, क्या सुधार किया जा सकता है। हमने 5-6 वर्षों में कुछ करने का प्रयास किया है। टॉप जैसी स्कीम को चलाया है। एलीट एथलीट को देश विदेश में ट्रेनिंग दी है। बहुत सारे एथलीट्स को तो 300-300, 400-400 दिन विदेशों में ट्रेनिंग मिली। 1,000 दिन देश के अंदर ट्रेनिंग मिली। So training any athlete for 400 days overseas or 1,000 days within the country is not an easy task, but the government of India is hand-holding the athletes and will keep doing so.
In Tokyo Paralympics in the women's individual table tennis C4, India's Bhabina Ben Patel lost the first round match to China's Ying Zhao 0-3. And with that, it's a wrap of Indian action at the Paralympics Games for the day. Bhabina Ben was up against a mighty opponent. Zhao is a 5-time Paralympic gold medalist. Beijing 2008 and London 2012, individual champion in 2008, 2012 and 2016, team champion.
The third cricket test of the 5-match series between India and England will begin today at Headingley in Leeds, West Yorkshire. The visitors are ahead by 1-0 in the series. The match will begin at 3:30 p.m. Indian time. And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have strong surface winds during daytime. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius while maximum is likely to be nearly 37 degrees. Mumbai will also have generally cloudy sky with light rain. There will not be much change in temperature as it will hover between 26 and 33 degrees Celsius. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with thunderstorm with rain. The temperature will move to a maximum 35 degrees Celsius from a minimum of 25 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Cabinet approves highest ever fair and remunerative price of 290 rupees per quintal for sugarcane. Government mandates all Afghan nationals to travel to India only on e-visa. Prime Minister Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin discuss Afghan situation. Government to brief floor leaders of all political parties on Afghanistan tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind to visit Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. More than 59 crore 55 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. COVID recovery rate stands at 97.67%. Health Ministry requests states and union territories to vaccinate all school teachers on priority basis. COVID-19 may be becoming endemic in India, says WHO Chief Scientist Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. Centre to launch e-Shram Portal National Database on Unorganized Workers tomorrow. Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur interacts with medal winners of the World Under-20 Athletics Championship. Third cricket test between India and England to begin today in Leeds. And India begins its campaign at the Tokyo Paralympic Games today. And with that, we end the Midday News.